Hello and welcome to Awakened with Lea, the next chapter. I'm your host, Lea, and this show is about bringing to the forefront diverse guests who have experienced adversity and major or minor transitions in life so that we can provide our viewers with courage, confidence, and tangible tools to navigate any challenge in life with the lived experience and wisdom of our guests. Hello and welcome to Awakened with Lea, the next chapter. My name is Lea and I am your host today, and I'm super excited to introduce everybody to Fatima Dias, founder of Fit by Fatima, personal trainer and Zumba fitness instructor. Welcome.
I thank you, Leah, so much for having me. It's a great pleasure that I'm here to share with you my passion, my story, and to just maybe inspire someone who's out there watching to be the best version of yourself and find how amazing you can be and the great things life can offer and bring you.
And I want to thank you for your courage for being here to share your experiences with us and share in my mission to support those who may not be able to afford coaching or any type of therapy at the moment. So thank you for being part of my journey.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think what you're doing is so important, especially now that people are going through not so good times. We need that spark. We need to keep that shine on and be able to help people. It's amazing and makes us feel good to be able to bring that to the world and being able to bring that to a lot of people out there.
Absolutely. Thank you. So Fatima, can you share with us any adversity or challenges that you experienced that deeply shaped your life today?
So, as some of you may notice, my accent, I am not from Canada. I was born and raised in Portugal. And I was 16 when I first came. So, I was in high school. I had my friends. I have everything back home. And then one day, my mom just told me, we're moving to Canada. I didn't even know what Canada was or where. And then I was like, oh my God, I can't go. And I need to finish my high school here. And she's like, no, we have to go. And I'm like, okay, fine, we'll go. And I came and I stayed with my parents for almost 2 years until for immigration reasons, we had to go back. And at the time I was turning 18 and I went back home waiting to be able to come back and have everything settled and have all our documents done. But it ended up that the immigration just took long, and I was just there waiting without going to school. And my mom told me, why don't you try and go on your own, and then when we can, we all go and be with you. And I'm like, okay, I'll go and try it, and I'll do my best I can. I had an aunt here that I was supposed to stay with. Things didn't really work out the way we were supposed to. So I ended up at 18 being in high school, having to find a place to live on my own. And it was not easy to be by myself at 18.
That's courageous to leave to come to a different country.
Yes.
Wow.
And it was a time that I kind of went a little bit downwards as well, because being by yourself is not easy. And I remember having a cold and I had to make my own chicken soup. I had to go buy my own medication. I couldn't just call mom and say, can you go over there and buy me some Tylenol? I couldn't. I had to be on my own and take care of myself.
So it sounds like you were independent at a very early age.
Yes. So I was going to school in the morning and then leaving school and going to work and then coming late at night. So it was not an easy time to go to. I put on a lot of weight and I started going out a lot and not feeling myself anymore. And I was like, this is it. I'm not going anywhere with my life. Things are just, I wasn't seeing a future or having any hope at all. It was just going day by day, doing whatever I felt like. And especially when I graduated, my mom wasn't here. The only people that went to my graduation was one of my cousins. She was 14 at the time, and the owner of the house, my landlord. They was the only two people that I had that I was able to invite, and they did come. And it was not easy to go on stage and just having them. I didn't even go into the graduation party because I was like, what's the point? Everybody's going to be there with their parents and I'm going to be by myself. But, things happened and I went through, and I kept, trying to do what my mom told me to do. And she would call me every single day to make sure I was okay. She's one of the most important people in my life. It's my mom. She's my role model. And I remember watching her going back to school at the age of 40 to finish high school at 2.5. So she always showed me a way that I could do anything that I wanted in my life. So then she was able to come, and then things changed a little bit. I also met my husband. When we started living together. So things started to take shape. And I started working also as a cleaning lady. So that was one of my first jobs. After I worked at the bakery for a while, and then I went to do cleaning, which is, what you can do when you have only high school, you don't know much, your English is not perfect. So that's the job that I did for many years.
So it sounds like you did the best you could with what you had in the moment.
Yes, for sure. And I tried to do my best. I never really worked for a company. I always tried to do on my own. The only time is that when I work at the bakery, I had a boss. That was the only boss I had so far in my life. I think I always had that entrepreneurial thing in me. So even doing cleaning, I was doing on my own. And I always wanted to go back to school and do something. I tried a few different courses, and I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. And people around me kept saying, no, you're so young, you should go back to school. But I wasn't seeing it. I couldn't find the thing that I really wanted to do in my life. And I kept trying. I tried accountability, administration, and I was like, this is not it. This is not what I want to do. And for all those years, I was a Zumba student. So I started Zumba in 2012, roughly, and I fell in love right away. I started it just like anybody else, in the back of the room, hidden from everybody. I didn't want anybody to see me. I wasn't confident at all. And and with time, I started to be more confident. I loved my instructor. She felt everybody feel so welcome. It felt like a family. And I would go every day there was a class, I was there. We were doing at the time 3 times a week, and I was always there. And slowly I found myself. I opened myself, and I was able to talk to people, to be in the front row. And that not just changed inside the class, I think it changed me inside as well, because I became more confident, not just in the Zumba class, but in life. I could speak with people that I didn't know with no problem. Before, I was always like, oh, I don't know, stay away from me. I want to be in this little shell. But I just opened up, and I ended up being on stage. My instructor, sometimes she would say, come on stage with me. And I was like, okay. First time was like, no, I don't want to go. But then she insisted, like, okay, inside, I wanted to go. I knew that was my place, but I was afraid of going there. And I was really like, no, don't choose me. But inside, I wanted her to choose me. And when I first went, it was great. And I just felt so good. And I kept on going every time she would ask, someone wants to come on stage. I was like, yes, I'm going. Sometimes I would have to put my hand on again. Okay, give another person their turn. We've done enough. And I think it's just an opportunity for me to be me. Um, and slowly, I just did more and more. And oh, sorry. Do you want to say, we can? I want to take a sip of water. I don't want to lose. I think I talk too much.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's so wonderful to hear how, you tried other things and probably without even knowing, you just weren't aligned with it. And once you were a student of Zumba, that you actually felt it and you knew this is where you needed to be, even though you didn't have the confidence yet to actually blossom to the point where you just explained to us. What do you think? I mean, you clearly had some beliefs about yourself that kept you in that space of fear and no confidence. What beliefs do you feel that you needed to shift to slowly gain that confidence?
I think when I was little, I was raised in a really really tiny town, like a place that I had two neighbors only. Um, and I used to go to a school, a public school, a little bit further, and I used to be bullied a little bit. So that made me create that shell, and because kids would say, "Oh, you're from down to that place." It's a Portuguese name, so it's hard to pronounce, but they would say, "Oh, you're from that place. You're not worth anything. You're just..." So I was not Fatima. I was the girl from that place. So I created that shell, and that shell was not easy to break open, even though my mom was really supportive. It was, and she always showed me the way. It was not easy after so many years of being closed and staying away. I didn't have to used to have this posture. I used to be like this because I didn't want people to see me. I didn't want to, sometimes I would go on the bus and I would just go and hide myself so they wouldn't pick on me because I was from that place.
Yeah, we want to stay invisible, and when you're bullied, it takes a toll mentally, physically, emotionally as well. And when we hear it enough times, we start believing it. So we don't know anything other than what people are telling you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so how did you shift that belief after all those years that allowed you to start to have that posture that you have right now?
I think it was really having someone that believed in me, because my instructor believed in me, my mom believed in me, and I think those two women were really showing me the way. And it just took a long, long time, many, many years, and just listening also to people like what you're doing right now. People, they're inspired, they have they share their experience, and I could see they're going somewhere, and I'm like, I want to go there too. I want to be able to do that too. And I truly believe that the day that I stepped on stage and I faced my fear of being in front of a crowd, and I look at people and they were happy to see me there, and they could see me, the person I was, not the person from that place, but who I was really, it just changed me. And I'm like, this is my place, this is who I am. And it became more and more and more open. And I think the more, when you're starting to get in that vibe, you want to seek more of that, and you start getting contact and just the energy. I believe you are the energy. You attract the energy that you have. So when I started having this energy in me, other people that wanted to bring me up came to me as well. So I started having that. And being a cleaning lady for so many years, it's not a shame to say. I'm actually proud to say that, because I met so many amazing people. And I used to go cleaning, and as many times I spent more than an hour speaking with my client, learning from them. because I worked with people from different backgrounds, from different professional backgrounds, and I learned so much with them. Most of them were older generation, right? And they had so much knowledge, and I'm so glad that I think that also shaped me. There was one lady in particular, she the way we talked, we had such rich conversations that I was like, oh my God, it just opened up my mind to the world out there, and that I didn't have contact with people like just cleaning ladies or people that work in construction. No, I had contact with scientists, with all kinds of people, and just getting that from different people. And they always said to me, you're amazing. You should go back to school. You should do something more. So keep hearing those things. It makes you want to do more, because then people believe in you and you start believing in yourself as well.
Absolutely. And it sounds like you shifted your energy from a place of what's the point, being hopeless, and probably any anger or resentment from being bullied, to an energy space of allowing to absorb wisdom from others and allowing others to believe in you before you believe in yourself, so that when you continue hearing that one day it sounds like you shifted into believing in yourself, and that's the energy that you're bringing forth, and people are being entrained to your energy because of that shift now of believing in yourself.
Exactly. And it's just, I think when you open the doors to people and you're humble and you accept and you're not judgy, because I was bullied, so I know so everyone has their value and you should be able to listen to them no matter who they are. Because sometimes you can learn the biggest lessons from someone that you thought had nothing to offer. And that's what I did. I opened my doors and like, I want to learn from everyone, and I want to learn as much as I can. And once you start learning, you want to learn even more. You want to grow. Your mind just starts expanding, and it never shrinks back, and you want to feed it even more and learn more about everything that's out there, because I think life is so rich. There's so much out there and so much knowledge, and I don't know, I think life is amazing. I didn't think about it this way all the time, and it's a process. But when you can open your mind and experience that, oh, I think it's changing everything. And then things just happen. Like how I became an instructor, I can say was not by plan. I didn't plan to be an instructor, and like my dream and or I applied. I never did a resume in my life. I didn't apply for anything. I didn't plan anything. I can say maybe I'm wrong that I don't have a life plan, but I just see the doors opening, and I'm like, I want to peek in. I want to see what's going to happen when I cross, and I open that door and I cross to the other side. So I became an instructor because my instructor at the time decided to quit. She said, she was like, I'm not able to continue, because she had a busy life. She had children, and being as an instructor takes time to learn the choreographies and do advertising. So I told her, why don't I become the instructor myself? I was a little scared. I was like, should I do it? Should I not do it? But when you feel it inside that you should, but you're scared, I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to get done. I'm going to do this, and then I'll see where it goes. I just told my husband and my mom, I'm like, I'm going to get certified. And they're like, oh, good for you. Go ahead and do it. But they didn't know I was so scared inside, but I said like, I'm going to do it. And it just happened that way. Same week I got certified. And then my instructor decided to go back, and there's another story. But I ended up having my own classes, so I didn't take over her spot. I started my own business and my own classes with my own students.
It sounds like her quitting had a purpose, and then you ended up with your own. But even without having a plan, I think the key message here is that you had the willingness. You had the willingness to keep the doors open to opportunity. And then it sounds like you really got in touch with yourself. And by getting in touch with yourself, because you had the willingness, you could actually feel those pushes and pulls of which direction that felt right for you in that moment. And then you became an instructor.
Yeah, and over the years, I think sometimes you feel like you're not, because I've been an instructor now for a little bit over 3 years, and not everything is it's given to you like this is it, or simple. You know, we always have times. I had times that I wanted to quit. I had times that I got to the class and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Um, Sometimes you may feel like you're a fraud. You're like, I don't know about this. Or people come to you as like, oh, explain to me about this kind of music. And I'm like, I'm not a specialist in music. I'm an instructor. So we had to learn a little bit. And sometimes you have those moments when you're like, am I doing the right thing? Uh, should I just be a cleaning lady again and just drop everything? Because it was so much easier to be on the other side. But then that fire inside of you doesn't let you go.
And it sounds, yeah, and it sounds like your desire was stronger than your doubt.
Yes.
And being tapped into that, because then that's what grows, not the doubt. But it's also an important lesson that it takes time. I mean, change is a constant, and life is a journey. Um, and so it's about learning and practicing and implementing and having that self-compassion for ourselves, that it's not an overnight thing, but we can definitely get into that good feeling and enjoy the journey.
Yes. And I think what I used to do a lot is having those moments of being me and connecting with myself. I used to, when I was little, I used to listen to music in the dark. That was my thing. I just liked just to put my headphones on and just hearing the music, and sometimes even dance and just move around. And for a few years, I kind of forgot that piece of myself. I was so work home cooking and I got lost in the routine. And at some point I was like, this is not me anymore. So what I did, I tried to think of things that I used to do when I was young, that I just did because I loved it and because I had the time, and I was young and I would do it. So I brought those things back to my today. So even today, sometimes before I came on today, I put my headphones on because I wanted to remember who I am inside. And I think everyone has that one thing that they like to do or they used to do. Is it going for a walk, even gardening? I don't know, whatever is there that makes you feel like you should be able to do it, even if it's just for 5 minutes a day or even 1 minute a week, just bringing that person back. And I'm not a meditation person. I know a lot of people do meditation, but there's things in there that can bring you and bring back that person that you are, because we are unique. You can never find anyone like you on earth. And we always all have that fire and that thing we're supposed to do. I hear people say, oh, I'm going to work today. I hate my job. I don't like going to work. Work, it's not useful. We're just making money. And it's just because you're not doing the right job. You just didn't find the right person, the right fit. Because once you find it, going to work is not going to work. For a long time, and even today, I say I'm going to teach Zumba. I don't say I'm going to work. Even personal training that I do right now, I don't say I'm going to. I say I'm going to train someone. I don't say that I'm going to work because it doesn't feel like work, because it's just me doing what I love to do. And I think that also plays in being your full self, because your job is what you do most of your day, so you should enjoy it. I know a lot of people cannot do what they love, but even if it's just a side thing that you can do on the side, or even if you do it for donation for free, because I do Zumba classes for free and I'm happy to do, because it's what I love. I get paid? No, but I'm doing what I love.
And it sounds like
So
being mindful of the words we're telling ourselves. But I also love how you mentioned reuniting with the child and the fun, the play. And that's what happens. Life happens and we forget about play and having fun, and reconnecting with our child is a great reminder, not only for play and fun, but reconnecting to areas where we can recognize strengths in ourselves and bring it to the present moment.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember one day a couple of years ago, I went to Canada's Wonderland for Christmas, and I felt like a little child. I wanted to, because Christmas is very, very important for me. I love it. And I'm like, you know what? If someone sees me here wearing a Santa hat and I'm jumping around and singing the Christmas songs, and if they think I'm crazy, I hope they do say that, because it means that I'm doing the right thing. It's just enjoying yourself in ways, because I think when we grow up as well, we kind of lose that, and everything has to be strict, and you have to sit a certain way, you have to talk a certain way, you have to, some things are childish, but some things that you can still do and you can still enjoy yourself in that way. And don't forget those moments, and be a little silly, be a little bit out of that comfort zone and that model that everybody does. Because it took me 10 years to go back to school. I finished high school at 19 almost, and I went back to college at 28. It took me 10 years. For some people, they might find like, what the hell, are you going to school at 28 after 10 years? Like, yes, I'm going to school at 28 because I feel like it's the right moment for me right now. And it
There's
doesn't have to be strict.
Yeah, there's never an age limit on going back to school, and it's not following status quo. It's following your inner being. So let me ask you, how did you break through the fears that accumulated over the years in order to take the action that you have taken?
It's funny how I think I just find the opportunity. I think the opportunity is presented to me in such a way that I kind of forget the fear. I'm like, because when I went back to school, I had just purchased my house. And I was like, I told my husband, I'm not going to work. I'm going to school now. And I didn't see the fear in that moment. I think when you really know what you're going, I don't know if it's God, if it's the energy, it just gives you the right energy for you to be in that moment, because everything, the thing feels so right that you might, the fear is there, but you're like, you know what, I don't care about your fear. I'm gonna just listen to, and I can see the door open right here in front of me, and I'm not gonna let you just hold me back because of.
You're like, thanks for showing up, but bye bye, I don't need you.
Exactly. And I think my willing to want to do more, and the knowing that I'm gonna do well, and telling myself in the mirror that I am great and that I'm gonna do great things, it just makes me just want to go through the door and not thinking about going back. And I always look at back, what happened behind us as learning and things that are gonna shape what you are in the future. And it just, I don't know, it's just when you see the art, I just go for it. And many times, many opportunities come to me, and I don't even think about it. It feels, if they sound right, I'm like, yes, I'm on it. I'm going. I don't care what's going to happen. I'll make a way. I'll figure it out. But I'll make happen what I feel it's right.
Well, I can tell you, your energy is contagious for sure.
Good, good. I'm happy for that. That's what I want, and that's what I want. I think it's what I feel it's my mission right now. I don't know what's going to be in a year or next week or the week after, but right now, what I want is to bring that energy to people and showing them that they can do anything. And what I found with training, and that's one of the reasons why I love being a trainer, because I can bring that energy to people and I can show them through training that they can do anything in life. Because I think we're all our life, it's a whole. It's not just your training and your home. When you get better in one area and you get stronger in one area of your life, everything else just you get stronger in all the other things.
Yeah, it does play out in other areas of your life, absolutely. So there's always hope, and there's always another side to the negative emotions that you're feeling, and that's an important message. And another message that I hear coming through is that our experiences and our challenges really are gifts. Although they're hard and they're uncomfortable, they're gifts because they really give us clues as to what we want and what we don't want, who we are, who we don't want to be, and we create values and we start to live by those values, and they guide us into all areas of our life, whether it's in relationships or it's in our careers, our family.
And we see, like, many times we see things don't go the way we want. Like when I did small courses before I went on to fitness. I was like, why is this not working? Why am I not just finding the thing that I want? Why can't I just get done and find the one? And even sometimes things happen in our life. They were like, why is this happening this way? I didn't want it this way. And you know what I found? And I heard this sentence once, and it says, the wrong you see is the right you don't understand yet. So when things go wrong, you may think they are wrong, but they actually perfect and they're right, but you just don't know it. And I can say that I can transform that in a simple way so you can understand it. When I went to purchase my house, I made an offer in 5 houses. And it was awful when we saw offerings going down and things not working out. I was like, and at the time, we kind of, at the third time we got thrown down, I was like, maybe we should just give up and pay rent for the rest of our lives. But we kept on going because the house that we purchased was the right one. So we didn't know that we had to go through all of those because those were not right. We are putting an offer on things that were not right. And we didn't know. We thought it was wrong, that God was not letting us buy a house. But no, he knew exactly what we were supposed to do. And there was a right at the end that was right for us.
I love that analogy. It's very clear when you say it that way, that we have to go through so many different challenges in our lives in order to be able to eventually see what's right for us. But in that moment, because we don't see it, that's where we need to have faith and trust, and take that with us daily and enjoy the ride.
Yes, for sure. And you just mentioned faith, and I am a faithful person, and I have this that I use all the time. It's not the most beautiful necklace in the world, it's not diamonds, but it means family and my faith. And it's always with me because this is the most important things in my life is my have faith and have the love and the support of my family. And I think when you have something like this with you, and not all the time we have this, sometimes I've lost my faith just like everybody else. Things were not the way I thought, and I was like, why me? Why this way? But you can always find your faith and do things that remind you of who you are, and go back and have the support of your family. Don't be afraid to say that you're not feeling bad. Go and ask for help and tell them you're not feeling okay and you need support and you need a hug. Or maybe you don't have to say anything. Just go there and be with them. And yeah, also I think those two things are also very remarkable in my life and kept me and keep me going where I want to go and having a beautiful journey. Not a perfect one, but the one that I can do the best I can. and be the best I can be for other people also.
Yeah, and it sounds like you went from why me to taking responsibility for your thoughts and emotions and actions, and having that faith, that, you know, the waters might be a little wavy, but with that faith, you know that you don't have to stay in that space for very long, and you increase your energy by having a different perspective and those more positive thoughts that keep you in that space.
And one thing that I did, and I think now that we went through quarantine, and sometimes I saw a lot of people going through down times during the quarantine and because of COVID, and I went the other way. While I saw a lot of people like binge watching things on Netflix. I was binge watching people like what are we doing right now? People, they're talking, they're empowering each other. So I kind of learned to use my time wisely, and I made it my goal, my daily goal, to grow a little bit every day. So when I go to bed every day and I pray, I have something that I say that I did that was better than I was yesterday, that I grew a little bit better. So I started using my time, my free time, to grow. And I think that changed a lot also who I am, especially in this last year. I expose myself to things that where I want to go and where I want to be. So I can say that I have nothing against Netflix or whatever or TV, but I find for many years I was wasting my time watching things that didn't make me grow. That I was watching like novellas and dramas, and they weren't getting me anywhere. But the time when I stopped it and I started working on my self development and my self growth, things just also became even bigger than before. And I started listening to more people. And because nowadays we have so much exposure on social media, on all the platforms, and sometimes we don't realize all those things can affect us. We don't see it because we're just, it's like having 20 CP24 on all day. Those things are getting to you and without you even realizing it, and you're exposed to that. And one thing that I did, I started to be more careful about what I expose myself to make sure that those things are aligned to where I want to go. Because if they are not, then your energy shifted and you may not be able to open the doors that you want to be open.
Yeah, and it's a great reminder that no matter what the circumstances are outside of us, that we still have choice of how we want to feel. And that's an important thing to mention, because a lot of times we don't realize we have choice when things like COVID, which is this is a pandemic that, yeah, although we've had a pandemic before, this has never lasted this long. And it's very easy for anybody and understandable that we would start to sort of regress into, not much energy towards moving forward, or a lot of anger and resentment. But the reminder is that we can only control ourselves. We can't control other people or our circumstances. And just that, I just want to reiterate again that we do have choice. And taking baby steps is where we need to start. And again, going back to what you said earlier, just finding things that make us feel good. Have some fun. If it's putting music on and dancing, or whatever suits each person, but it doesn't have to be anything big. It's just actually making the intention that I really want to feel good today, and taking the steps forward to do that however we can with the restrictions.
Just be present in the moment that you're living today. One thing that I started doing that I didn't realize was going to be, I like to try things and see how I feel when I do them. So what I do when I drive around the city, we have a lot of stop signs and lights. So when I stop at the red light, instead of me being looking at the numbers, waiting for the to go green because I just want to go, or thinking about where I'm going, I take a moment to breathe and to look around. Sometimes I even look at the driver next to me and I say hi. What's the problem? We're just people. Why can't I raise my hand to a person that I don't know? Uh, we're here to live. We only live once. Why not? And I look around and I look at the sky. I look at the birds. I look far away to the horizon. And it's just like, especially when people stay on the computer for so long, we have that close contact, like that close vision. We don't use our far vision. So when you go outside and you look at your eyes, and even your eyes just feel better, and you're just present in the moment, and you're not thinking about next minute. You're just there at the time, and it can really make a difference in how you're feeling, because emotions are, you can control your emotions. And I was watching this coach talking the other day about emotions only last for a few seconds. The emotion, the reaction that our body has right away to emotion only lasts a few seconds. After that, we choose to be in that state. So if there's something on right now that upsets you, and you get upset because of that, but you choose to be upset for the rest of the day. If you want, you can get out of that state if you choose to do it. But if you don't, if you just stay in it, you'll stay in it. You can choose to be happy all day, or you can choose to be miserable all day. And I just wanted to bring that on. Try to be more in the moment, present with your children, even when you're cooking. And because sometimes we cook some pasta, because I cook every day. I go and I put something boiling, and I'm on the phone, and the kids are there. There's so many things going and happening, and I know sometimes it's hard, but trying to take the time to be in the moment and organize, and just cooking, for example, it can be really therapeutic. You're there, you're mixing the spices, you're watching how. Now I love gardening, and I plant my own seeds. I put the little seed and I watch that little seed become a plant, bigger and bigger, and then give me fruit. And then I take a seed from that same plant and I plant it again to bring more seeds. And I just watch that, and it just be present. I think the most important thing is be present in the moment, because past is gone, future we never know. And there's you only have the moment you're living in. You can prepare for the future, yes. You can learn with the past, but be in the moment.
I love that. I love that. So with all of your experiences, what would you say is the most significant lesson you learned, and what message can you leave us with?
So I have a quote that I have here with me that I wanted to read. And if anyone wants to write it down or ask for it, you can ask later. What lies before you and what lies behind you are tiny matters compared to what lies within you. And that comes again to that fire, that knowing that you're going to do the right things. We all have a fire inside. Sometimes we don't see it, but it's there, and you can bring it on, and you can enjoy the moments in your life to the fullest. And like I just said, you can prepare for the future. You can learn with the past, but be in that moment and let that fire on. If it sounds funny and weird, it's okay. It's scary. It's okay. Just go with it, because you never know what's there. You never know where are you going to go and what you're going to find, and the great things you can be, and the greatness you can be for the world, because you are one person. You are unique, and you can do amazing things.
Oh, wow. I love that message. And I mean, all the answers lie within. And it's so true. And just looking within, you will receive all the messages that you need to receive. Thank you
Yes.
so much. And thank you for your vulnerability, sharing with us your experiences. And I'm sure that a lot of it was extremely hard, and I appreciate you being here and sharing those difficult experiences with us. And I look forward to having you here again with me.
Thank you. It would be my pleasure to be here and to share a little more about my story and my vision. And I'm so happy that you bring this opportunity for us to be able to come and share with the world what we have of good inside of us, and we can share to the world. And it's like I said, things are not always perfect, but what comes out and how you can come out of it, it's the way you should be looking. And thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Lea.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome, and thank you. And to all my guests, thank you for being here with us. And I look forward to sharing this space again with you next time.